Welcome to the Critic Up Show on Creativity and You with Uche Teresa Izuko. And today's guest comes to us from West Jordan, Utah. Please welcome W.D. Kilpack III to the show, popularly known as Bill. Bill is an award-winning freelance writer published in 2 countries, with works appearing in print, online, radio, and television. Starting with his first publication credit at the age of 9 with an award-winning poem. Award-winning and critically acclaimed writer, Bill triumphantly enters epic fantasy with the New Blood series, Order of Light, an adventure of swords, prophecy, politics, and destiny. He is a communication professor and a nationally recognized wrestling coach. And Bill, you are welcome to the show. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, wonderful.
And the support I've received from friends and family and students and people like you has been amazing. It's really been a great experience so far.
Oh, Bill, you know what? You just made my day. Thank you so much for saying that. I really do appreciate it. You're welcome to the show. Welcome. You're an author, you're a wrestling coach, a high-performing athlete, communication professor. Everything about creativity is you. You're an inspiration to us all. Tell us, how has creativity helped to guide you towards a deeper level in embracing your passion and goals?
Well, my athlete days are gone, but creativity was definitely part of the success I had in wrestling. It's the hardest sport there is, and it requires that you perform techniques correctly, but at the same time, you are outsmarting your opponent. It's kind of like chess. You know, you create openings and then you attack. Beyond wrestling, creativity's definitely been part of my whole life experience. I wanted to be a cartoonist until I was 12.
Okay.
And then I wrote my first fantasy novel. And so that's been my dream ever since then. And creativity has definitely been central to all of that. It's been really the foundation of my life experience.
That's right. Oh, that's good. And I can imagine putting in creativity with being a wrestling coach. You know, the tactics, the style, you know, everything you got to do as a wrestling coach is there's definitely a role that creativity had to play in those years for you, which is awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all that with us today. Thank you. You're able to guide your thoughts towards writing, which is amazingly awesome. Tell us more about the triumphant entry into epic fantasy with the Order of Light.
Well, Order of Light is pretty exciting. It's my joy is in the writing, of course. You know, creating worlds and filling them with exciting places and interesting, people. And that I'm also going to apply what I've learned through Crown Prince. That Order of Light is book 2 of 8, and they're all written, and they're all based around a kernel of an idea that actually occurred to me when I was in college.
Okay.
I double majored in communication and philosophy, and in my philosophy classes, I was fascinated by Socrates.
Okay.
And Socrates would go into these kind of trances, and he called it being seized by the demon of philosophy, and he would come out with this kind of epiphany, these new revelations.
Mm-hmm.
And that is central to the main character in my books, Nathar. And Nathar is seized by the demon of sight, and then he sees things from the future and from the past. And so with Order of Light, then it's moving down the road. The idea is that he needs to restore the crown prince to the throne of Merrick, where mankind was created. And he also has to repair damages that resulted because of when he chose his own personal happiness to help raise the crown prince with Darshel over his duty as the guardian of Merrick.
Okay, that is pure fantasy. It's really exciting, honestly. While you were talking, I was just trying to piece the whole thing visually. in my head. And you know what? I think you should consider that piece for television adaptation. It's really good. It's something that will excite not just adults, young adults, even children. Just it's amazing. It's amazing. It's an amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing all that with us today. Thank you. Tell us a bit more about The Crown Prince. And it's a realistic fantasy. I understand it's the book one of the New Blood series.
Well, realistic fantasy is it's what I really enjoy. Sometimes in fantasy writing, there's so much emphasis put on magic and that sort of thing that it's like you're trying to create fireworks, and it can kind of overshadow the characters and the plot points.
That's right.
And so for me, in most of my writing, if there's magic, then it's more subtle. And my goal is that you be able to see what's happening. I like things being very visual, but also that you get to know the characters as people, and you can have emotional responses to the things that they go through. I like heroes that are imperfect, like real people.
That's right.
I like villains that you love to hate. I like seeing characters that shift between the role of hero and villain and victim, because that is really what drama is about. And in Crown Prince, Nathar is faced with how these things that he has seen through the demon of sight, and his father saw before him. So you got two generations of plans that have been made, preparing for these bad things to happen. Well, now they're happening. And so he's got all these plans that have been put into place by him and his dad. And then when it's happening, all this stuff is going on that he didn't see. Like Darshell, who is the wet nurse for the newborn baby. And then he has to make decisions like, what is he going to do with her? He doesn't know her role. He hasn't seen her.
Yes.
And then he has to choose between staying with her and the baby and his duty. And he chooses kind of that personal aspect versus his responsibilities, and that has long-lasting repercussions.
That's right. Oh, that's wonderful. That's good to hear. So in terms of characters in your story, when you talk about magic, do all the characters have magic, or do they tend to use your magic against each other, in that kind of setup? Is that how it's set up?
Well, a lot of fantasy novels, quest novels in general, you have like a wizard type character. There's a Gandalf or an Al-Anon or something like that, where they have magic at their disposal. I have a character who could be compared to that. His name is Ellis, Ellis the Elder, and you don't see him. You were introduced to him at the end of Crown Prince, and then he's one of the main characters in Order of Light. And one of the lines from the book is that he is not a sorcerer. He makes sorcerous things.
That's right. Okay.
And so he's kind of more of a practitioner of applying magic into objects as opposed to casting spells and that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, that's exciting. That's exciting to know. And earlier on, you did mention about book 2 of 8. So does that mean there is the New Blood series is a continuation? So, for example, now the Order of Light will be a continuation to book 3. Is that how it's been?
Right. So Crown Prince was the first book. The second book is Order of Light. The third is Demon Seed. The fourth is Rilari. Book 5 is Vengeance Born. Book 6 is Usurper's Might.
Okay.
Book 7 is Dark Guard, and book 8 is Guardian.
Well, you know what, Bill? You have all this worked out already. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all that with us today. Thank you. We're still on the show, Critical of Facet Production, and this is our call-out session on creativity and you. And today, we have a special guest. Bill is our special guest today, and for more videos like this, Don't forget to subscribe. And Bill, you're still welcome to the show. Welcome.
Thanks.
All right. So tell us, your style of writing stands out. Your love for science fiction and fantasy, it adds flair to the literary world. Your characters show emotions and doubt and everyday concerns. How has all this helped to give you that powerful intensity and nurtured your creative capabilities and desires?
Well, life is full of conflict,
That's
and it's part of our fabric of existence. You can't avoid it. So that in itself, that's not very interesting. But what is interesting is what people do with it when they're faced with conflict.
Yeah, that's
Do
right.
they allow conflict to escalate to aggression? Do they allow that to escalate again to violence?
Yeah.
If they do, then what happens there? And in writing fantasy, then of course there is violence. You've got swords and things like that
Mhm.
is part of the fun. Uh, but then at the same time, do you believe the people when they're making their decisions? Do you empathize with them when they make the wrong decisions? Do
Mhm.
you feel joy with them when they make the right ones?
Okay.
And in studying communication and teaching it, um, one of the things that's fascinating about that is analyzing where things go wrong.
Right.
And so, those moments where you're left saying, that's not what I meant.
Yeah.
And so, uh, it could be a misunderstood word or an awkward interaction. And
Exactly.
a lot of times I think that writers are afraid of those awkward moments. And so, but I think that they're essential to life, that they're essential to life experience. And they can either throw a wrench into the works, or
Mhm.
people can become closer after those events because of having problems and fixing them, and
Yeah.
so on. And that is fascinating to me. I've always been a people watcher, and I try to infuse that into my writing.
That's right.
So I want my writers to be able to feel what the characters are feeling, and uh, even if it's that the character's making a mistake,
Mhm.
then you still feel for them, and
Exactly.
that's one of the things I really
Exactly.
enjoy.
Yeah, and also there is this connection between characters when they begin to feel emotion, because I do believe that different characters have different emotions or reaction to things or to the way things play out in the book. Just like you talked about the awkward moment. So that
Hmm.
awkward moment could trigger love with some characters. It could trigger hate. It could trigger violence. It could trigger something that will build up and lead to the climax of the story. So it comes in different version, and it's amazing to see how these things actually play out in a book. And in a book like yours, it's magical. It's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all that with us today. Thank you. As a wrestling coach and a communication professor, along with being an award winning author, when mixed together, how do you feel about where you are right now in terms of what you have achieved creatively? What are your next big steps? Where are all of these taking you to? Where do you see yourself excelling from here?
As far as my writing skills, I think that they have matured over my life to a point that I am happy with them.
Wonderful.
Uh,
That's
I got
great.
a master's degree in writing, and that definitely taught me how to use the tools that
That's right.
uh, more correctly,
That's right.
and that's important.
Yeah.
Coaching has helped me in terms of how to tailor a message in a way that people can understand. And
Mhm.
I've had plenty of challenges in terms of kids I've coached,
Yeah.
and sometimes taking me very literally, or which is not exactly what you
Yeah,
meant,
I know.
but and those types of things.
Yeah.
And and teaching and grading assignments has done the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
And winning awards and getting good reviews, that kind of gives me the fuel to keep going.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
anybody who has been trying to make it as a writer knows that it's hard,
That's it. It is.
and you can't please everyone. And as often as not, it's about being in the right place at the right time,
Exactly.
and that can be really discouraging. And so my next steps are to continue my writing and spreading the word about my novels and reaching readers. And it's really been humbling, that process. I have people who have sent me videos of themselves reciting the vows of the Knights of Rill, and sent me pictures of themselves holding my book. And I never thought things like that would happen. And so every time I get one of those photos or I get one of those videos,
Yeah, it
I,
keeps you motivated. Yeah.
yeah, it feels like I've won an award. And,
But
you
it
know,
is an award. I think it is
yeah,
an award.
you
Yeah,
know, and so that really is the fuel that helps me keep working and writing and
right.
editing and promoting and all the things that I need to do to take my work to the next level.
Oh, that's amazing, Bill. I can relate with my life and your life right now. Being an author, being in that space where a lot of people love what you do. They appreciate your writing. They are eager to read it, buy it, promote it. It's amazing. Like you said, it feels like winning an award. And for me, Bill, it's an award. Thank you so much for sharing all that with us today. Thank you. We're still on the show Critical of a Fast Light Production, and this is our call out session on creativity and you. And today we do have a special guest. Bill is our special guest today, and for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. And Bill, you're still welcome to the show. Welcome. All right, so tell us, Bill, I'm sure a lot of people out there are eager to know more about what you do. How can we reach out to you for collaborations or partnerships? We're all interested in getting to know you more.
My official website is www.kilpack.net, and that is Kilpack with one L, Kilpack.
That's right.
On that website, I have links to my books, samples from the books. I have photos. I have a link to my YouTube channel where I have those videos that I talked about. You can register to join the Knights of Rill there. And it's really the communication hub for my goals and dreams is that website. And I'm also on Goodreads and BookBub and LinkedIn. But I really want to keep building that website with more videos and more photos and that sort of thing that I can experience this and I can experience it with my readers at the same time.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's just, well, I can't say enough about how much I appreciate those photos and those videos. I just can't say.
Oh, that is amazing. That's amazing. That's good. I'm so happy to share in your story as well. And I do know that we will definitely keep talking about your book, your story, keep promoting it, and get more people reading and taking pictures and videos and putting it out there for review. It's amazing. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Thank you for sharing all these useful information with us. And we're looking forward to the third series actually. So there's a book 3 of 8 coming hopefully very soon. So we're all looking forward to that as well, and to see more magic, more witchcraft, more things, happening in that book. So it's amazing. And thank you so much. And one last magical question here. So Bill, tell us, how do you feel about coming to the show?
Well, this has been awesome. I've told my students about it. I've told some people about it. My students are all saying, well, you're going to give us a link, right?
Oh, definitely. Oh, you will be getting a link. Yeah, that's right.
And so this is, I'm still kind of learning all this, and this is a new experience, and it's been very positive. And you've said a lot of really kind things, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.